So I owed you 2 days of stuff. Yesterday was basically just most of the day on a train going from Busan to Seoul. And then we spent the evening doing all K-pop BTS stores. That was fun. And then today, just wait to see what I spent just a little bit of money on. Good day. Tomorrow I start my tour, my BTS tour. Get ready for me to never be the same again. A brief glimpse of Jin as we got back to Seoul from Busan. And then we went straight to lunch and, of course, saw our boys. And then we had to go to the BT21 Line Friends store. It was Tessa's birthday, and she got to hold hands with Jungkook. I mean, what else could you ask for? This girl was thrilled. Look at her. It fits perfectly. You know, I never had daughters. I only have 3 sons, and I have a wonderful daughter-in-law now. And so this kind of just felt like experiencing this with what daughters would feel like. And I loved it. Little Kiana has tiny, tiny hands. They were even smaller than Jimin's, which is saying something. Look at that. They just loved putting their hands in their handprints. And of course I loved it when I did it in LA too. We had to pose with Cookie. Then on to the next K-pop shop. This was just a day or an evening, I guess, of all things K-pop and BTS. Look at those huge posters. The Butter Era just does something to me. They had Tay magazines everywhere. Let me tell you, Tay is everywhere in Seoul. Whether it's magazines or compost coffee or Coke ads on bus stations. He's freaking everywhere, and nobody can complain about that. I wanted every single one of those, every single one, but I was saving up my BTS money, and you'll see why here in a bit. But would I have bought every single one of these huge posters if somebody would have given me the opportunity? I think I would have, yes. Most certainly, yes. Look at them. They had all kinds of, just BTS merch and all the albums, except for the one that Tess came all the way to Korea to get, which was Mono, and it was nowhere to be found. Here we are walking through the streets of Myeongdong, and this to me was just sort of like a smaller New York Times Square. Lots of lights, tons of people, food everywhere, shops open, really cool atmosphere. And yeah. I don't know. You just got to experience it, but it really busy, really, really busy, and very cool. Too cool for me. Up the stairs to another K-pop store. There's our boys. This one really didn't have much. We didn't get anything, but they did have posters of the guys everywhere. And did I wig out over those? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Well, we all 3 did. Look at Suga. Oh my God. Look at all of them. I think, we said that Jin looks like Harry Potter. They had a lot of the exact same stuff. So a lot of these K-pop stores that you go to, they're just going to have the same stuff. So, but is it still fun to go to every single one? Yeah. And make a night of it? Of course. Of course it is. And you'll have to listen to this. I mean, when you have the chance to see Spider-Man dance into Gangnam Style, you kind of have to, right? Tess basically pawed all over JK every chance she got, and who can blame her? And then look at these 2 fine gentlemen. Look at him. Yeah. Oh, there's Kiana too. And there's Tess. And another K-pop store. And more of the boy. Oh, that was the same one. Sorry, I got them out of order. Just deal with it. I'm not an expert at this, okay? I'm not an expert editor. This was the BTS store shop that you have to have your passport to get stuff. You have to be leaving within 3 days. So I couldn't get anything. But Kiana did. She got a Muse shirt. They didn't really have a whole ton. But in that same mall, we got to go to Snow Peak. Kiana got a raincoat. Then the next day, I went and got my hair cut. And found Tay again in another Snow Peak. And then the thing I was saving all my money for. We went to this jewelry shop where they have the jewelry that the guys have worn. Not the exact thing that they put on their bodies to buy, but replicas. And this is what I had saved up for. They have it displayed by member, and they also have these books that you can look through and see when they wore each item. So did I buy anything? That's the question. Yes, of course I did. I bought 3 Suga items and 1 Jimin item, and I would have bought several more if I would have had more money. But I spent my money very quickly. So I got the tassel bracelet. I got a ring that Suga wore. I got another bracelet that Suga wore. And then I got earrings that Jimin wore. And then we got to see actual rings that the guys actually wore. So the girls couldn't help but slide those on their fingers. Jimin's rings, just for the record, are absolutely tiny. They're tiny. But they fit Kiana for the most part. Tess, not even close. But she tried. This was a small thrill. Actually, it was a big thrill. And we loved every second of this. This was one of the coolest things I've done. And I believe you can order this stuff online. So if you want the information, just let me know. We went to Gangnam. That's where that store is. To me, it just felt like Rodeo Drive, sort of. It was every fancy store that we could not afford to even walk inside. Celine was there. I guess we looked pitiful because the guy from Celine stepped outside and told us we could come in and look around. Because we were just staring at the store like, oh, that's where Tay, This guy right here was so nice and he spoke great English. They took pity upon us and let us look around. And they were very, very friendly. Even though they knew we couldn't afford anything. But this is what it looks like downtown. Great little spot. Again, I couldn't afford one. I couldn't even afford a sock. Not even a sock. Then we went to where Kiana wanted to go most, which is the Baskin Robbins that has 100 flavors. And it was fun. And I think Tess counted. There were not exactly 100 flavors. I think she counted like 94. And then we went to this really cool book library that everybody talks about. I think that's the Starlight or Star something. You guys, I'm not good at this. Don't ever ask me for information about trips because I don't remember anything. Starplex? Star something. I'll put it in the comments. It was beautiful. Everything that you see in the pictures on Instagram, much prettier than what I have here. The funny thing was watching, and nothing against them, but the kind of the influencers trying to go up and down these escalators to try to get the perfect shot to make sure nobody was in them. And then the poses they would make, like pretending to drink coffee and being all, thinking and being all serious. It was really, really funny. It was funny to watch them just go over and over and over again doing this. So cute. All in all, it was a perfect day. These are the pieces that I purchased. And this day and a half of K-pop and BTS exploration has completely set me up for my BTS tour that begins tomorrow. Oh, there's the mall. Starfield. I knew it was Starfield.